I mean, did you also get to meet James and the guys in Metallica? Do you guys play like the Orion Festival thing?
We did. We met. So that was even remember what year that was. It was pretty early. It was maybe 2010 or something,
What?
uh, and maybe it was 2011. But we drove across the country to Atlantic City. Had the night before was a pretty nutty night. We stayed in a really disgusting, kind of scary motel outside of Atlantic City, and then rolled in at like 10 in the morning, and we're all out of our minds. And the whole way out, we were just, like, there's no way that Metallica themselves actually chose us to play this thing. I'm sure it's just like somebody as part of their giant team was like, oh, this is a band that, their videos are, the kids like their videos, so let's have them on this thing. And I think we'd all agreed, like, the only way we're going to believe that Metallica has even heard of us is like if James comes over and introduces himself or whatever. And it's probably about 6-7 minutes before we're supposed to go on. And I was like stretching some, we were all spread around, just like stretching and getting ready. And then Chris Coyle, our tour manager, kind of runs over to each of us, and he's all kind of breathless. And he's like, guys, everybody needs to come over and gather, backstage over in the spot. Cause 5 minutes before you guys go on, James Hetfield's going to come over and say hi. And then we're all suddenly just like, oh fuck, cause I think that you'll hear this from a lot of people, like
What?
that most musicians who get, have been doing it as long as we have, or, have gotten to the sort of like low mid level of recognition that we have, you kind of get over your starstruck thing,
Right, right,
because you realize that it's just it's just a bunch of your peers.
right.
But you'll hear in the same breath, you'll also hear people say, the one person that I think I might still be starstruck by is James Hetfield.
Right, right,
And I've heard that quite a few times, and it turns out that is also true of me.
Yeah.
that when I met him, I just totally like whited out, and I barely remember some of it. And the first couple songs, I was in the wrong tuning, and I was fucking up real bad.
Right, right.
And they were also headlining the Soundwave Festival when we played that in Australia,
Right.
and they hosted like before the tour started, the night before, Metallica hosted this like barbecue for the entire tour, which
Right.
was, I think, 55 bands and all their crews. So, I mean, it was like whatever that, hundreds and hundreds of people. And James, I guess, remembered us, and I saw he was chatting with John and Brian.
Right.
And I was talking to some friend of mine, and I was like, oh, there's James Hetfield talking to my band. And so I just, totally sleep deprived, just flown all the way from the US. And I remember kind of running over and being probably that guy that I just started kind of like yelling at him. And I was just so excited.
Yeah.
Kind of overdid it a little bit, but got some pretty good stories about the early days of touring. So it was fun.
I can
I hope
imagine.
I didn't embarrass myself too much.
Well, no. I mean, I'm sure he didn't, but I can totally understand if that's how you felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just this for me, I would probably react the same way, maybe even worse.
Yeah.
But it's nice also that the Metallica crew, whatever you want to call the family, like they say, I guess, does take care of like you guys, and they seem to have that vibe.
Oh, sure.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, yeah, they can relate and understand, even though it's been, 30, whatever, however many years that they've been touring on planes, and, that they aren't connected really to the touring in a van lifestyle anymore, but they totally get it and can relate. And so like that Orion Festival, that was one of the best backstage, artist areas. We were super well cared for, because they, as artists, they understand how important it is to, especially if you've just driven all the way across the country in a van and spent the night, in a crappy motel where you got almost no sleep, to have some sort of like, maybe somebody should actually treat you like you're kind of important, since you're the one who people are showing up to see your band, that maybe instead of being treated just like cattle to be pushed out on stage and then pulled back off so that the crew can get their their work done in
Mm.
a more efficient manner. Which some places you play, it kind of feels like that. It sort of feels like the production team is you're just in their way,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Metallica definitely understands. Like, no, you guys need to be respected and treated well.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear, man.